next on Sunday Square Off.
He plans to cut public education until our schools bleed out.
Education professor David Garcia is running to unseat the self-proclaimed education governor, Doug Ducey. I'll ask Garcia why he thinks he has a chance. Plus,
it's hard not to feel betrayed.
Arizona's top teachers also ripping the governor after his school voucher expansion. We examine the fallout then.
Up with the workers, yeah, down with the bosses, boo.
The bosses and the legislature strike back after Arizona voters raise the minimum wage. How they're handcuffing future voters. Also, what will Kyrsten Sinema do next? Why her big cash haul points to a Senate race. All that plus chocolate cake right now on Sunday Square Off. Good morning and happy Easter, and welcome to Square Off. ASU professor David Garcia says he knows the assignment he's taking on is daunting. The Democrat announced last week he's challenging Republican Governor Doug Ducey in 2018. Garcia said Ducey's signing of Arizona's broadest expansion to date of school vouchers left him no choice but to get into the governor's race. Joining us is Democratic candidate for governor David Garcia. Welcome back to Square Off.
Happy Easter, Bram.
Same to you. I know you've been thinking about the 2018 election for several months. It was either going to be school superintendent or governor. You mentioned vouchers were the reason. Why exactly did they push you into this race?
You know, Bram, when the governor not only signed the bill, but pushed for the approval of the bill, passing of it, I felt betrayed. I am a public school parent. I have two daughters that attend public schools, and on behalf of the 95% of Arizona parents who choose public schools, we've got to stand up and say that the legislature, and particularly the governor, needs to honor our choice to be in public schools.
Many supporters, some of those teachers we heard from in that intro, said they supported Prop 123. They feel betrayed now. They feel like they were played by the governor. Do you think the governor misled education supporters about Prop 123 and then about the steps 4, 5, and 6 that were supposed to follow?
I'm not the only one that thinks this. If you remember, the parent that introduced me at our kickoff said exactly that she felt betrayed, that she had been played. Look, I believe the question we need to be asking, and the one you're going to ask me is, can I win? But I think the reality is how can we re-elect Doug Ducey if we don't trust him? He betrayed us, and if we had known that step 4 after 1, 2, 3 was to push for the universal expansion of vouchers, people wouldn't have gotten behind it and it would have failed. And I, as a parent, I, as a citizen, feel absolutely that he betrayed us.
You are correct in that I am going to ask you, can you win? But let's look at 2014. You ran against Diane Douglas, a very weak candidate. You were expected to win. You didn't. You performed poorly in Pima County. Why should anybody think you can do better this time against a very well-funded, stronger candidate?
Let me tell you what we did do in 2014. We were the highest Democratic vote getters. We brought energy to the campaign. We brought people out that had not been involved before. The key to 2018, Bram, is voter turnout. The key to 2018 is how can you get people out in an off-presidential election? How can we engage people to come out and get involved? And I showed in my 2014 campaign that I can run the type of campaign that people can commit to and get behind. And I believe that when we connect with folks, when we show them that we have their best interest in mind, the best interest of working families, they're going to get energized and they're going to jump on board because some historic things are going to happen in 2018, but we need a candidate that can lead the way.
I want to stick with 2014 for a minute because your performance in Pima County was surprisingly poor. Other Democrats did much better than you. And this may be a touchy subject, but I'll bring it up. Your supporters, others agreed. If your last name had been Smith and not Garcia, you might have done better. How tough was it being a Latino candidate running and trying to win over voters?
That's a tough question. It's asking me how tough is it to be Latino. You can't...
Not as a candidate,
sure,
running for office statewide.
Well, I appreciate that you recognize that, because when you have a last name like Garcia, you need to address those issues. I think it's unfortunate that you have to sit down and think about who you are when your last name is Garcia. Look, the reality is the future of this state is Latino. A third of our population is Latino. The median age of our Latino population is 26. The rest of Arizona is close to, I think it's 43. What we need in this state is leadership that reflects our population. We haven't had a Latino elected statewide or a Latino governor for over 40 years. And I think it's time.
43 years.
43.
To be exact.
Thank you, yeah.
The other question about whether you can win has to do with your experience. It is limited exclusively to education, the academic arena, and in the policy-making arena. So let me ask you a question a candidate for governor gets. Would you raise taxes to support education?
I think that we need to go out there and raise revenue. Look, we have had a fascination with tax cuts for the last 20 years, and we got to get off that. We've been starving our state as a result of it, and we've been boxing ourselves in. What I know is that people who care about Arizona are willing to invest in the things they care about. And public education, including our universities and community colleges, is at the very top of that list. I think
so you
Arizonans
think voters would accept a tax increase to pay for education?
I think voters will accept an investment in education, in public education.
Investment meaning tax increase?
Meaning a tax increase. Look, we need to have all tools on the table. It includes strategic tax cuts. It also includes raising revenue. Right now, we're not working with the full set of tools. And it's because we refuse to get out there and tell Arizonans that we want to invest in you. The path forward, particularly when it comes to job creation, is ideas that start here, that stay here, and that build here. And the only way we are going to get that done is if we invest here. And that investment is making sure that our public education system, all the way up to the universities, is funded and giving working class people an opportunity to improve their lives.
All right, got to end it there. David Garcia, thanks so much for joining us. Best of luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Brad.
When we come back, why Doug Ducey says reporters are getting hysterical, and what President Trump had for dessert before he bombed Syria. Stay with us.